At the Haldwell School for Boarding and Day Students, there are 5 factions. The factions are realistic about the need for the student body to engage in their vices, and are pragmatic in facilitating them. The first rule that they live by is that of not being a rat.
The movie Selah the Spades is about a protagonist named Selah Summers who we enter into a pretty idyllic high school that we soon find out has kind of an underbelly that are run by 5 factions made up of students that handle every illicit deed on campus, whether it's alcohol or drugs or parties. And the movie's kind of an intimate character study of a young woman who is the head of one of the most brutal of those factions. I think what excited me so much about this project is Tyresha, the director. Directors who I really just love to work with are people who are highly arturist in their style, and they have a very specific world that they want to capture, but are also open to collaboration and open to trying to find that world together and being willing to kind of like be fluid and bend, but still from a place of having an incredibly authored and specific world. And when I first read that script, like, I completely got taken to a place I've never been before. And as a cinematographer, that's always exciting to then think through, like, okay, well then how does that place look? How does that place feel? For me, my like philosophy of lighting or approach to lighting is I really love to enter a space and kind of watch and see how the space informs that it wants to be lit. Like, of course, that is then me grafting the drama or the emotion of the scene onto that, but I think it's always really important for me to kind of enter a space and have a sensitivity of how does light react and how does light play in this space. And so for this movie specifically, it was large locations of this very large kind of New England prep school. So a lot of our approach for me was using mirrors and using like large HMIs to kind of create a naturalism around the light where the performances are really stylized and this world is very stylized and it's very couched in artifice, even in our kind of photographic style, but I wanted the light to feel honest. I wanted the light to feel authentic in a way to kind of sharpen those juxtapositions, sharpen the fact that someone is performing in this space, but like the world is still real. Light still feels natural. So for that, it was kind of thinking through a lot of like a single source lighting approach of like trying to find ways to get big sources and to kind of less thinking about lighting as lighting and more thinking about it as modulation or augmentation and the ways in which we can kind of then take these big sources coming in and kind of sculpt them around kind of the actors, the scene, and the emotion and the drama. There's a scene in which the students are pulling a prank on the administration and essentially like fill a lot of cups with food coloring and line up the stairs and fill out this entire main corridor of the school. And for lighting it, it was trying to think through like the natural ways in which light would play in this space. So when they're sneaking out of dorms constantly, like they have to have ways of getting around. So it was really trying to take that and riff off of that. So the entire scene was lit through headlamps, either off screen or on camera. And yeah, trying to find a way to not necessarily light the space, but to create a space that has honest lighting in terms of an honesty to the ways in which people are using light in space. I used an Alexa Mini. The Mini was an incredible tool for the film because of the modularity of it as a system. It allowed us, for the film, we had a lot of different kind of movements and types of camera movements. So having a camera that I can quickly kind of outfit into different kind of rigs really quickly was, I think, a really important thing for us on this project. If I had to give any advice for young cinematographers coming up, it would be to try to cultivate ways of shooting with an open heart. Like, try to cultivate ways of really bringing compassion to your work and seeing people in a way that like is dignified and in a way that you see their character and their emotion and their plight in an unjudgmental way.